What's going on, guys? Today's video is a little bit different. I'm out here taking a little walk in the hills near where I live in Southern California. Today we're going to be talking about having the mindset to be able to do whatever you set out to do, and not putting these like fake hurdles up in front of you and the self-doubt in your mind. So I found a little spot to sit down, check out this view. Pretty remarkable. But for today's video, I just wanted to talk about having that right mindset to like conquer your goals, and setting goals that are higher than most people usually set. When I was first starting out on YouTube, for example, my goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers for the first year, and I already hit that in a month. And it kind of changes your perspective. A lot of you probably know Tanner Fox, one of my best friends, and he started YouTube about a year ago, and he just hit 100,000 subscribers. And so it's crazy to think about the possibilities just in general online or whatever you're doing with your life. But it's so important, I feel like, and I've realized this over the past month or two, or a few months, is that you can reach these seemingly like unattainable places with the right mindset and the right work ethic and consistency with what you're doing. But it's crazy to think about where you can get. You look at a lot of big people in all industries, like music, for example, like Justin Bieber. I mean, he was discovered off of YouTube. He was just some little kid at one point, and now he's a household name. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone starts from somewhere. You look at like Bill Gates or any of like the big tech moguls, and they all started, like a lot of them started in their own garages, doing work, trying to create something. And so you can't put yourself in a different league than them. Everyone started at the same place. Now obviously you can get into, and I won't, but you can get into, like some people have obvious advantages in life. Like I know that like Taylor Swift, for example, like her dad, like I think he like bought out the studio that first signed her, or just like stuff like that. Or some people are they're born into certain families where they have a lot of money, and it makes it easier for them to achieve their dreams. And a lot of people think that okay, well, because I started at this place, I'm not going to be able to get where I want to be. And I was lucky enough to grow up in a family where money wasn't really an issue. I was very fortunate to be in that situation. But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work. You can be given all the money in the world, but if you're not putting in work, it's just going to sit there and you're going to run out eventually. You have to be putting time and effort into your dreams and what you want to accomplish in your life. And so even if you are in a position where, okay, you're working full time, but you have like aspirations to do bigger things, like whether or not that be Amazon FBA, or if you're doing online business, or maybe you just want to start rapping and you're really passionate about singing, or whatever it may be that you're interested in, put the time in to do it. A lot of people say, okay, well, I'm really busy, I only have this much time in the day, and I'm taking care of my family, I have to work a certain amount of time, and those are all great excuses. But at the end of the day, you can put the time in where you want to put in. And obviously there's things that you can't put aside. Obviously you need to provide for your family if you have that obligation. I'm lucky enough to where I'm not in that position, and I can be selfish and just put all my time towards my goals that I have. But so I saw this great quote, and the quote was, instead of saying I don't have time for something, say that it's not a priority in your life. So instead of saying, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym, well, it's not a priority for you to go to the gym, you know? I don't have time to start an online business. Well, it's not a priority in your life to start an online business. And you know, don't make things a priority that don't need to be. Now, if you're working, you know, 2 full-time jobs, like, I understand, that sucks. There's no, like, you know, beating around the bush on that. That's a very difficult situation to be in. You're working 80 hours a week. There's not a lot of free time. But like, if you have, you know, other aspirations and you have to be doing that, you know, wake up an hour earlier once a week, put in a little bit of time, make some type of progress towards what you want to be doing, and that can make all the difference in the world. You know, most people aren't in that situation. A lot of people, let's say they're just working 1 full-time job, which, you know, that's obviously a lot and it's tiring, but you want to be able to make progress with, you know, the goals that you have in place. And so, you know, wake up an hour earlier, do that extra little bit, you know, instead of coming home from work and sitting on the couch and just watching TV, like, take an hour and, you know, go towards some of the goals that you have. You know, it's, you know, you can make a lot of progress in what you want to be doing if you just take time aside and do it. You know, you can think about it all day long, but at the end of the day, you have to be making some type of progress towards your goals for there to be any, you know, change in your tomorrow, whether it be, you know, literally tomorrow or a year from now. Like, where do you want to be in a year? If you're stuck in, you know, a dead-end job where you're just making just enough, I mean, you have to be doing more to progress. You know, and like I said, I'm lucky enough to where I'm not in that situation, but, and you know, I'm very sympathetic towards people that are, and at the end of the day, I want you all to succeed. I want you all to, you know, reach these, you know, goals and aspirations that you're setting out for yourself. So when you're thinking to yourself, okay, you know, I see all these big people online, they're doing this crazy stuff, like I could never do that. You have to think to yourself, they started exactly where I am. You know, they started exactly where you are at some point in their life, and they made the proper steps to put themselves in the situation that they are today. You know, like, Tanner's a great example. You know, he was making, well, he was making no money at one point, just going to school with me. And then he decided, you know what, I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna, you know, start this online business. That's what I'm passionate about. I think it's a super cool opportunity. He did that. And then, you know, that went into him teaching other people how to do that. And then now, you know, he's making like millions a year. And so that's just incredible. And to think that like 2 years ago, he was just studying, that's just remarkable, really. And, so obviously Tanner, you know, went through his struggles of getting through, you know, like I think he had 2 or 3 products that weren't necessarily like home runs, and then he like learned from those mistakes, kept pushing. You know, he didn't give up after his first or second like you know, failed product. He just kept going, kept pushing, and then finally reached, you know, that few products that did extremely well, and then he kept growing from there. But if he had stopped at that first or second hurdle, he wouldn't, you know, he wouldn't be where he is today. He'd probably have just finished school and just doing whatever job that he got from that, which at the end of the day, I don't think he would be happy with, you know? And that's something you have to ask yourself, is like, okay, well, I mean, when I was going to school, for example, and I'll do a whole other video on this, but, you know, are you going to be happy with where you are, with what you're doing right now? So if you're going to school and you're just studying and you're, I guess, going to, you know, get a job that you're studying for, like, are you happy with that job that you're going to be getting? Are you happy with that lifestyle? Or is there something more that you want? And I think it's so important that you just think big and dream big with what you want in your life, because if you don't, you'll never get it. You won't be able to, you know, achieve these dreams of yours that are very much attainable, but you just have to put in the work. And I think a lot of people are scared because they don't want to put in the work and then fail. But at the end of the day, if you keep putting in consistent work, and you know, it's something that you really want, I mean, no matter what, I mean, it could take a month, it could take years, but I mean, if you keep consistently pushing at it, you will find success in some way. And I think it's just so important that, I think that success sometimes may not show the way that you know, expect it to, but at the end of the day, you're doing what you love. And I think that's one of the most important things in life, and that will bring you the most happiness. Another example is this rapper that I've been watching. He's on YouTube. He was relatively small. He had like a couple thousand subscribers, and he was putting out really good raps. Basically, he was doing covers. You know, one day he like started putting some out, and they were getting traction on YouTube, and then he was gaining like 10,000 subscribers a month. He's got several 100,000 now, and we recently saw him putting Facebook advertising, actually, pushing his videos, and that's been like getting him a lot bigger. And then now I think he's signed with a label, and he's doing all this crazy stuff, but he would never have gotten there if he wasn't putting himself out there in the first place. And I think that's like, it's just crazy to think about like all the talented people in the world that could be, but aren't, because they're not putting themselves out there enough, or they're not, you know, chasing those dreams. I mean, I know that everyone has the possibility of, you know, like using their talents and, you know, chasing those dreams that they have, but you need to put in the time to do it. And it's not a quick process, it's not easy, and a lot of times there's a lot of struggle and failures along the way. But in order to get to the end, you have to get all through that, push through that, and then find your success at the end of the path. Let's look at this view one more time. This is crazy today. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Just finished up on that little hike. Hope that spoke to you, and you you know, realize that a lot of these aspirations and dreams that you have are completely possible. Don't put yourself in a box of like things that you can accomplish because of where you are. Anything is possible. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. I do Amazon FBA and Facebook marketing and stuff like that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.